Oh, they're trying to figure out what's wrong. Okay. All right. I didn't realize I was live. Well, hello, whoever's out there watching. We are live. Give me just a moment to go in and, yes, make sure we're good. We are good. We're live on YouTube and we're live on, um, hold on, let me go in and make some changes here and do this real quick. We're live on YouTube and we're also live on Facebook. And we are going to get started in just a moment. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm trying to wait for a moment. Actually, I don't think anybody's on yet, so I'm gonna wait for probably, I'm not gonna wait for long while I do some background work to set up here. My apologies for running behind. We're a little, excuse me. What in the world? Okay, my apologies. I had some stuff going on in my background. Um, but we are live. Welcome to the Spiritual Life Center and welcome to our Spiritual School of Learning. And we are here. Oh, I'm gonna ask you if you would turn your phone landscape and let's see if it'll. Oh, you probably have to. Ah, you will probably have to do something in your settings. Let me see if you can. There you go. Perfect. Aha! There you go. All right. So, welcome to the Spiritual Life Center, to our Spiritual School of Learning. Our Spiritual School of Learning is every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Every Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. It is our goal to be here every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. sharp. So we want you to get that in your minds, to get on with us and be ready to start with us because we're going to be on. We were pretty close to on time tonight. We're about 5 minutes late, but we had some technical things we had to work on, some logistical things rather. But we are here. Apostle Lisa is with us tonight. Of course, she is the lead facilitator for our Spiritual School of Learning, unless she sends, sends. See, because she gives somebody an apostolic assignment, because that means to send, to be sent, unless she gives someone else an apostolic assignment to oh, Joy, you must have saw me. Yeah, I had to go away for a second. Behold, I go away to prepare a place for you. But anyway, Apostle, hey, hey.
Hey, hey,
Can,
hey, hey, how are
all
you?
right, all right. Okay, so,
Mm.
Apostle, what are we talking about tonight?
Ooh,
Ooh,
well,
well,
that's a good
y'all see,
question.
she's in the car right now.
Mm-hmm.
You
I'm on my
working
way home.
or on your way
No, I'm
home?
on
No,
my
I'm on
way
my way
home.
home. On her way
I'm gonna
home.
take some people home.
Okay. So we with her in transition tonight.
Yes,
All
yes,
right. What are we
sir.
talking about tonight in tonight's spiritual school of learning? What's on your brain?
Well,
Well,
you know, I was
I was
talking
talking
to one
to
of
one of
our
our
tribe,
tribe,
and we was
and we
having
was
a
having a
discussion
discussion
about
about
spiritual
spiritual
gifts,
gifts,
um,
um,
how to
how to
recognize your
recognize your
spiritual
spiritual
gifts,
gifts,
your
your
purpose with
purpose
those
with those
spiritual
spiritual
gifts.
gifts.
And
And
uh, I
I
think a
think
lot
a
of
lot of
people
people,
are not as clear about their spiritual gifts and what the purpose of them. Um, some people, we have talents, right? And then we have spiritual gifts, and then we have, I call it experiences. And So I wanted to kind of brush on that a little bit and let's talk about it. And for those of you who are wanting to get some clarity about um, the spiritual gifts and what's the difference between the spiritual gifts and your talents, and how do you know, um, um, the difference, correlation, and do they work together? Uh, in some cases, I believe talents and our spiritual gifts can and does work together. And then there's a time there is where they can be separate, like they're on a different vein where you may be using your talents for, uh, you know, to orchestrate your life, or live life. You know, um, a lot of us may have talents like in art or some type of, in art, science. You know, um, can you not go fast? um, um, so you may have, different talents, acting, things that brings in finances. You may be, a constructor. That may be one of your talents and gifts. So that's right, gifts. So you have your talents, your gifts, and your spiritual gifts. What's the difference between these three? And I come to find out. Let me get back to myself. In my ear. Got y'all in my ear. So so your talents would be where something that you are passionate about, that you
Mm-hmm.
feel that will make life durable for you. You would use it for, you know, starting that business, um,
Yes.
making that um that money with, bringing in the money, the bacon, and
Okay.
those could be your talents. And you could be passionate about those talents and very gifted. Okay, and you
Okay.
may go to school to enhance this talent. These are the things you can go to school and enhance. Spiritual gifts usually can't nobody really teach you. You kind of have to be led by the Spirit of God to teach you. The Holy Spirit would teach you. And maybe even observing and watching others who are operating in that spiritual gifts or even in that talent. So they may become your mentor, mentee, or will have you may be a mentee or mentor to help um, grow that talent. Okay, yeah, I'm saying this and I'm going into my house so they get it
Somebody's
right.
saying they're getting a really bad echo.
Yeah, I think that's my earphones. So when I get in home out of house, y'all, I'll come out. I'm gonna
Okay.
come out for that because I hear myself talking to the back. And I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Somebody may be
So,
late. They didn't get out of work in time.
okay, so we're talking about the
But
difference between spiritual gifts and talents.
spiritual
I
gifts
want to
and
make sure
talents.
we're
Yeah.
following you closely.
Yes. And so the talents can be taught, learn, trained.
Okay.
Um, and you may be, you may go to college or some technical or school, to learn and increase those talents, get some knowledge, how you can use those talents to bring in money, jobs and things like that. Okay, I'm gonna come off of this. Sorry, guys.
Okay. While she's doing that, so we don't have any dead space, I'll just pick up and she'll jump right back in.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm gonna mute her for that echo. I hear it now, but she'll be with us. She'll get that taken care of now. So, somebody asked a great question that I'm gonna get you to answer when you come back. But yeah, what's the difference between a gift and a talent? Someone asks. We'll get to that question in just a minute. We'll have Apostle actually address that. One of the things I'll say while she's getting herself prepared and ready over there, that here's the thing about it: both your gift and your talents come from God. Okay, so they all come from God. They you're born with it. You know, like we talked about, the scripture talks about in Jeremiah chapter 1. He said, "Before I formed Mando Robosha." Excuse me, I got a little happy. Y'all already know how I do. But he said, "Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I ordained you." Well, let me go back. It says, "Before I formed you," I'm going to unmute her and see if the echo is gone. It says, "Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you." That's the first thing. I knew you. And that we know that word "new" comes from a word that means intimacy. Like, oh, I'm going to mute you. Let me know when you, I'll see when you probably. Uh, so that word "new" means intimacy. Okay? So God knew everything about you before he says, "Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you, I called you, and I ordained you," talking to Jeremiah, "a prophet." Okay? So all of these things happen. They are a part of our God DNA. You see, our spiritual DNA. It's in us. And yeah, it's in us. Yeah, Sonia, it's in us, and we just have to figure it out. And this is what Apostle's going to help us with tonight. Oh, that's loud. I'm gonna mute you again until she gets straight. It's like clanking in the background. That's what it was. But yeah, so God did that before you were born. He says, "Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you." Okay? Knew you intimately and ordained you a prophet. So God didn't call you to be a prophet at one point in your life. It wasn't some point in your life where God came along, you heard the voice, and God called you. No, that's just where you came into alignment with with what you already were. It's not necessary. We use that term, well, because I heard Lisa ask one of our brothers a couple weeks ago on our sister Sean's broadcast, "How did you know you were called to preach?" We say that, but technically, it's not that we were called at some point in our life. We just caught up with God, okay, and recognized what we already were, because it says, even before, oh man, you know what that tells us, Lisa, Apostle? Let me see if we can.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yes.
You know what that tells us, Apostle?
Yeah.
If it says, "Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I ordained you."
Yes.
What that tells me, listen to the really depth that says, "Before I formed you in the womb." So what that means, even before you were a thought in your mama's mind, because we're not talking about when the seed hit the egg and formation started. No, we're talking about before your mom and daddy even got together. God's saying, "I already ordained you." So that means you existed. I'm about to get happy, girl.
Yes.
You existed in another realm, at another. I don't know the word. I'm just we're gonna say realm because we don't know what to call it, in another dimension or something. But you existed before before your mama was impregnated. You already existed, and you were already ordained.
Absolutely.
To be what you are. And so what we do now that we're finally born, okay? we finally got formed in the womb and we're finally born. Now we're on a path and a journey to learn what we already are.
Yeah.
That includes our gifts, like Apostle's talking about, and I said it wrong. Our talents. And they're still saying you have an echo. I don't hear the echo on my end. Say something.
I kind of do hear myself talking.
You hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why there's an echo. I don't really hear it on my end.
Let me go to my audio.
They're saying you have an echo. But so now, so again, before That's right, Sonia. Before the beginning of time. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, yeah.
You already existed somewhere before you were born, and you were ordained to be what you are. So now we're on a journey in
Yes,
this.
yes.
What is this? What we call this, Lisa? Is this the 3D, or is this the four? No, this
3D
is the
RAM.
3D RAM. 3D realm. So now we're on a journey in this 3D realm to discover what we already are,
Yes.
what God already ordained us to be. Now, take us a little further, Apostle. You sound fine to me, but
Okay.
oh, they saying it's still there. Okay, I don't know.
I'm so sorry.
But
I
we'll
don't
figure that
know.
out. Hopefully, y'all can at least understand what she's saying, because I want her to do this. So take us on the journey now. We've established that even before we were formed in our mother's womb, we already existed in another dimension, and God already, according to what he said to Jeremiah, he already ordained us for something, ordained,
Come on.
anointed us, equipped us, gifted us.
Mhm.
So now we're on a journey to discover that. How, Apostle, would you say in this journey, how do we discover it? I'm going to mute myself.
Well, a lot of it is usually by accident when it's our talents. A lot of times, you may start sitting down and you may start to draw. You know, you see, or you may feel a passion to sing. Then, like I said, talents and sometimes spirituality gifts can't come together and work together. Okay, you got singers that are very they love to sing. That's their talents. That's their gift. But they also use it for the purpose of ministry, or and so they made that their spiritual gifts. So sometimes they can intertwine together, and you just use that. But it's usually what you're passionate about. What in the world this phone is doing, and so it's just what you're passionate about. But a lot of times,
Can you get somebody to increase your light in the room? You're like a shadow. You're really dark.
you don't think I did it really?
Yeah, can you put a light in front of you, or turn on a light in that room that you're in? Is a light on in the room?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
I thought I did.
Yeah, it's okay. Keep talking.
So
Okay, it's really dark.
I don't know.
But keep talking.
That better. Probably I'll keep.
Yeah, it looked like you got you in a dark room or something.
Yeah. Y'all, wait a minute.
No, just keep
Get out
going.
of here. Let's get
No, let's
together.
not worry about it. Just keep going. Tell us how we.
Okay. Anyway.
How do we do that?
So
How do we
a lot
discover?
of it, like I said, it could be just by mistake. You may find out that you like to do something. You saw somebody doing something, and it intrigued you.
Ah.
It's like I want to learn that. I want to learn how to develop that talent. And so we go to school and we find that I know my daughter. I ask them what they want to be for when they grow up, what they want to do. Try to see if they kind of get aware of what their talent is. And I said, the one of them said she wanted to be a teacher. A teacher, a nurse, and then she said she wanted to be a pastor. But she grew up to want to be an engineer.
Architectural engineer.
Yeah, engineer. And but also you may find yourself with many talents. Because they develop to get you to the talent.
Hey, Apostle, do you still have your headset in your head?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Let me make sure it's plugged up, y'all, in the thing, because sometimes it can be not clicking in my pod. So yeah, it's on there. I don't know why it's doing that, y'all. I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me better?
I can hear you on my end just fine,
It
but I
don't,
think
okay.
people in the
Yeah, I'm
comments are
still.
saying you're echoing. I don't know why they're saying that.
Somebody said something. What about back mute?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just keep going. I'll so that we can keep flowing. Don't worry about it. If they can't hear it, then we'll just go ahead and finish so we can get through the lesson.
Huh?
Yeah, don't
Well,
worry
yeah.
about it. Just
I
go
ain't
ahead.
worried about. Okay, so because it's kind of getting on me a little bit, but so you may find something someone is doing that intrigues you, and you may even develop a lot of gifts or talents, but it's going to be that one mainstream that's going to really be the one that you use or go to school to develop, or learn and be taught to. I mean, I'm thinking I can sing, I can dance, I did all that, y'all. I found out I can braid hair, and and I can uh do hair, nail technician, and all these things. And so I began to utilize these as I grew and went to school for these things. But my main thing was I knew that I counsel. I am pretty much that counsel. So I started going to school to develop and learn about counseling. And that's what I did. Because I found out that people come to me a lot of times. And sometimes people are going to come to you and say, hey, I noticed that you wonder why people sometimes just walk up to you and start talking to you. It's probably because you have a healing or counseling, you know, there that God is trying to develop. And that could be a gift from that spiritual side to help others, and guide and lead others. So you'll find out that way too, as people come and ask you about certain things, and you start to see that, oh, I got the gift of healing, or I got the gift of prophecy. Sometimes you find out as a child when you start having a lot of experiences, spiritual experiences. You may see things, dreams, you may find out that you can interpret, and things of that nature, and understand clearly what someone is saying to help interpret what they're saying. So those can be the spiritual side. But back to the talents, you do find yourself being intrigued by something and you want to develop that, and it can grow up with you, and it could just be something that is connected to the actual talent, or that you may, like I said, and it's funny because, like I said, my daughter said she wanted to be a teacher when she was a little girl, but now she's figured, I don't want to be no teacher. I don't have the tolerance to teach people because, she just doesn't. So, but she ended up with a business, doing cleaning business. She went to school for architectural engineering, and she's finding out that she's really good with the technology. So she's even going into engineering technology for school right now. So those are the things that you would kind of see yourself, and they're going to change because your seasons change. And on top of that, you're going to see what's going to help you bring in your money, and make and have that passion. And it's going to want you to get up and go to work, because sometimes we can discover our talents even when we're on a job. Just, we just go and we just get a job, and sometimes your boss or somebody say, hey, you got a talent to be a boss or a leader, a supervisor, because they can see how you perform, how you talk, and deal with these skills on that level of supervising. They probably watch people come to you a lot so that you can explain things to them, how to do their job. And they kind of sense that, and then they help develop that, and you start to realize, oh, I am a leader in supervising, or director of some sort. Okay, so it goes up the ladder when it comes to your talents. and what you're gifted in doing. And that can, because I remember God said too, where your talents and gift and spiritual, really the spiritual is where your money is. That's where you really get all the flow, because you flow with that spiritual, because it's not a struggle. Just like your talent is not a struggle. If you're struggling, either you need a little bit more training, a little bit more maturing, you know, what have you. Keep doing, keep going. And because every talent is, like I said, it's not developed, it's in there, but it's got to be developed out here. Okay. And you'll find yourself, and if you get up in the morning and you feel good about going to work and doing that talent, then pretty much you're good. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing or called to do in that work field, the work field. And sometimes I was going to say giftings, because sometimes you may have a talent to go and be a constructor, but you may have a gifting of writing. You may find that words coming up in your head, and you start finding yourself writing it down. So then you decide, am I a poet, or, you know, a poetry or a poem, you know, or am I a writer? And so when you start with stuff and words starts to flow, that's pretty much your gift that you can utilize again to bring in finances. You might be a people person, and that's definitely a gift. Definitely a gift. And that's something definitely has to be developed. But if you find that you're tolerant with people and people take to you and you can kind of work, you know how to handle confrontations and socialism and all of that, guess what? You might be in the social, worker field, or, any type of, I'd like to say, community. You may find yourself in retail. You may find yourself in all of these things that you like to help people, and they can come to you for advice about, did this look right? In that clothing line. So people oriented, you may have that gift, and it's a sweet gift to have, because you can communicate well, you see, and people can understand you, even in motivating speaking. Again, a gift that you can utilize. And sometimes when it comes to your gift, and even you connect the spiritual part to it, you don't even care if with your gifts or that spiritual gift, it's like, I don't care if I don't get paid for that, but I do want to get paid for my skill. I want to get paid for my skills now, and so that you go find, your career in that particular skill or talent that will bring in those finances, but you want to enjoy, and it takes time to find what that may be, and even finding the right person, place, and thing, that you might work that talent to feel comfortable to use that talent, and being allowed to use that talent. Even if you make mistakes, they will still work with you, right? And so you will find yourself in these positions that you will start to realize, oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. I usually turn my thing on. But you will find yourself in that position where you'll see it. You'll feel it. People in your family will see those talents and bring them and tell you, hey, have you thought about, you're real good at that? Like they saw me good with hair. I would learn stuff quick about hair and nails, and I love beauty. I love to see people look good and making them happy. So yeah, so I thought, I had my own salon, and I enjoy that. And seeing people feel good. But in the meantime, guess what I was also doing? I was using my social skills, because sometimes that counseling skill, that counseling talent, you see, I like to call it the spiritual part that's connected. So when I'm doing their nails, if they want some, they'll start talking about things, and then I begin to share some things, and I find myself, counseling or encouraging. May have the gift of encouragement. That's the motivational speaker, someone who would motivate you and encourage you to move forward. And people can see that as well. So you might go to college to take some communication, um, uh, communication classes and things of that nature. Okay, I remember I was in communication. If you have the music talent, music, whatever that might be, again, you would go to school to develop them. And that's pretty much probably where you'll find your money coming from. Your gifts are they tied to that, but it can extend from that. Like I said, you can stand to say that in your spare time you like to write, in your spare time you like to draw, in your spare time you like to sing. And sometimes you can take that and move it into the spiritual realm and become, a great speaker in the pulpit, so we're going to go into the spiritual realm in a minute.
Okay, so someone asked a question: what is the difference between a gift and a talent?
The gift, okay. The gift, like I said, is something where you can, you just kind of, again, find out by mistake, oh, I can draw, that gift to where I can make somebody, or I feel good about doing something that does not associate that I make money on it or not, but if I do, great. So, let me just use me as an example. I believe like my talent is kind of like organizing. I love talent singing, doing things, artistry, things like that. Fun stuff that I don't have to think about if I want to get paid for it or not. You see, I love to be on stage acting, and not have to worry about if I get paid or not. It's just to be there. I like to make people laugh and have fun, So to me, that would be a gift that I can use just for my enjoyment. And you can find that again, it would come to extend from basically your talent is, like I said, is something that you can do and you study and practice, and it becomes your career. It becomes something that you can tangibly make money to live. You see, and so you develop that through going to school, and things of that nature. And even if it's an art or going to, you want to develop that gift, you can do that too. You can go to singing classes, right? You can go to learn how to play the piano. And then you might find out that might be that might be the talent that makes you the money. You see, when I want to connect the spiritual gifts, usually we know when God tells about the spiritual gifts, the healer, the seer, one who can have wisdom and knowledge and revelation, all kinds, right? We have all kinds. Okay. So pretty much you would kind of find yourself being pulled, because you can even, let me say this, you can have the gifts comes, spiritual gifts kind of come and go if it's like you utilize it when it's needed. Okay, so because you prophesy don't mean you walk in the office of a prophet. Okay, you got some people that can have dreams, but then they have someone to interpret the dreams. So that spiritual gift can be the interpretation or the person that's having the dream. So when you find yourself doing a lot of those experiences, you're having these experiences in your spiritual realm to where you hear things in the spiritual realm, you see things, you can predict things, and and you find it out kind of by mistake. Oh, that came to pass, you know. And so, but you, again, you use that for the glory of God. You're going to want to use that for the glory of God, again, whether you get paid or not, whether you get known or not. It is something that you know, this is my purpose with what God has given me. Again, I think all of this kind of extend, because you could take your talents and use it as a gift and use it as a as your spiritual gifts. Some people just have it all in one, you know, bang, you know, because you got somebody who sings, went to school to learn how, you know, develop their voice. All right. And then that's their gifts, because they can do that, and they love to do that, and they go around and sing and do that and make money off of that. But they also use it for a spiritual gifts, so that they also edify it with with their, you know, music or art, poetry, motivation, and you've been called to your purpose, because people come up to you and say, "Man, I needed that. Oh my God, you know, God used you, you know." So that would be, I was thinking about my a friend I know. He can construct a house and almost build a house. All right. But and something he loves to do, and he was making money from that. Okay. And you can do that. And I really looked at it as he could have went into business, which he did, to go into that and do that and make money from that. But he didn't see it as a career. He's also was a mechanic. So you got all these gifts that you can use, or talents that you can utilize. You know, people say, well, it ain't the talent. It's more like, you know, you can sing, dance, play a music, you know, draw. Yeah. But a talent can also be, you know, you can cancel even with the talent, because you have that gift, that talent gift, but you may not want to work with that. You may not want to make it a career. It's just something you know that you can do, and you do it, and you connect that with the spiritual realm, where it also becomes a spiritual gift, because you can clearly talk and see and understand what someone is saying without even with them saying it. And that's really a good spiritual gift to have. But so a lot of it is really by mistake, but a lot of it is through dreams. You might find out or hear a voice that tells you, hey, I called you to this. You may have a dream or have repeated dreams that I call you to this spiritual gift. Somebody, if you have a leader and you're at a church and you have a leader, they may even see that spiritual gifts. And then they help train and mold you and grow you in that. Okay. But normally spiritual gifts are kind of, you learn, you have a mentee that's already doing it, so you will know the protocol, the order, as you want to say, the do's and the don'ts, because it's always do's and the don'ts in talents, do's and the don'ts in gifts, and do's and the don'ts in the spiritual realm. And you know, when you're using your spiritual gifts, y'all, there's always a do's and a don'ts. Okay. Because you can have the gift of healing, and God says, but lay hand on no man suddenly. That's a don't, right? And but yet he said a do is, but if you do, when you have the gift of healing and you lay hands and you believe, if the elders believe, or that one believe, who they pray for will be healed, then they will be healed. He didn't say the person has to believe that getting the healing, the person that lays, the elders who lay hands, if they believe. So if you believe that they would be healed, then they will be healed, because they already allow you to do it. So that's a level of faith they already got, that they believe anyway. You see, so you know, lay hands on them, they letting you do that, then wow, you know, people receive you in your spiritual gifts, because they'll start to feel like, here's someone, you can have many spiritual gifts, y'all, you know, and they come and go. Because I heal doesn't mean I'm a healer, like, you know what I'm saying? And even though I have the spirit of discernment and things which comes with prophetic, with the gift of prophetic to discern and intuition, all that comes together in the prophetic realm. If you're, a dreamer, right, you're going to find yourself dreaming a lot and seeing things manifest. And okay, and they're going to be very vivid. Very vivid. And if they're coming periodically, then pretty much that's a prophetic dream. If they come in repetitionally different times of your span of life. So spiritual gifts again comes from the fact that, hey, that's God called me to do that, and I'm good at doing that, and people allow me to do that, and they see manifestations and results from that spiritual gift. And then I like to put the gift in the middle, where you are gifted at both ends of the title of the talent and the spiritual gifts. Again, but the talent gift again is for you to have that career. You see, my oldest daughter, I knew she was going to be a teacher. I knew that she was talent to teach. She got that talent gift to teach. And so I that's what she does. And she does it well. It's not a struggle. If you find yourself again struggling, you either need more teaching, more training, or it might be something that you can do, like maybe you might be a assistant teacher. It may not be a career, but it could be assistant teacher. I can do it here and there, but I have something that I go to work to do. You say I am a people person, so that my gift to gab and talk and have a conversation. And so I was doing retail. I even went too far as being a telemarketer. And so the gift of gab, they call it, so then I stand up in the pulpit and I gab. But it is definitely a gift, and it's a spiritual gift that I love to do, whether I get paid for it or not. Now, I also use it. I do, like I said, when I was doing, I found out that I can do hair really, but I found out I really like to do nails. And I was really good at it, because I was like, and I went I've never done it. And when they offered it for free while I was going to cosmetology, I literally, y'all, ended up being a nail technician. I did hair, but my gift was really doing nails. I became when I went and worked in Belts and JC Penney and different nail salons, I was they call it the head technician, nail technician. I was the head. In other words, they came around my table and watched me and studied me. Or I said, oh, I see something. I had one girl, her nails just kept falling off. And I had to watch her to see, well, what are you doing? The people come back and their nails falling off, and we got to give their money back. We don't want that. We're going to go out of business. And that just don't look too good, and you're going to lose your job. So we got to help develop that. And so once I found out, and because I can, you see when you have that gift, you can see the mistakes. You can recognize the mistakes. You can and help them and have the tolerance to guide them and to help them form that, get stronger in that area. Come to find out, she was missing a step. I said, you didn't put the primer on. And then when you put the primer on, don't put a lot of primer on. You see? And so she was missing maybe about 2 steps. You got to buff it a little bit. And because we use files, we didn't use a drill. We learned by file. And when you can, let me tell you something, when you can do nails without a drill, you are very talented. That's the very talented gift. And you can make money out of that. So I'm kind of using that as an example. So even though I can do hair good, I found out my passion was doing nails. And I ended up using that gift, that talent, to do nails, open my own salon at that point, nail salon. And it was made money. You know, I was in Florida then. So then I found out, you know, I always knew when I was a child, you know, you find out from a child about your spiritual gifts, you may see in the spiritual realm. You know, like I said, you may have dreams to tell your mama or daddy and them about the dream and it come to pass. You may find out that you prayed for somebody or you touched somebody and they felt warmth in their body, and then they found out they felt better. You see, those kind of things can show you too your spiritual gifts as well. So understand that your talent it can be, again, all these can be a passion that you alluded as one for career. Okay. One that you just like to do, but you can still make money here and there or not, but you just love to do it. And you do it as a hobby. Some people do it as a hobby. Some gifts could just come as you like to paint. You just like to do it as a hobby. You know, and if somebody like your picture, you say, right, great, right? And some people may say, hey, can I buy that? Or you may just say, oh, give it here. It's just something I do. Now, you know, and some people move away from their talent careers. And when they found out they are gifted to make money in that gift, they do that as well, like I did. You know, went into, you know, doing hair. And like I say, I could be a social butterfly and help people organize and help people to figure out, you know, that retail kind of thing. I could do that. I'm very gifted at that. So a lot of stuff, you know. So, but wasn't really that passionate about it. It was just something to, you know, tie me over that I could do until I find out. And sometimes you're going to have those middle talents that you that's going to lead you to your main career that you may say, I like to go to school for that. Like I want to get into herbal. I ain't gonna be no, you know, herbalist. I may not use that as to make money off of it, but it's to have the knowledge of it so that if people I become to know have problems with certain things, I can say, hey, do this herb. You see what I'm saying? And that could just be that I just love to do that. And okay, and
So would you say that the
verbal
difference between a gift and a talent, one of the differences could be that a talent can be learned. A talent is
yes,
something that can be developed. A gift comes directly from God.
right from God.
Okay.
And you kind of find out both ways by mistake, but it'll come clearer as you get older and you start doing little things, and you find out that once you find out as you're doing these little things, then you'll end up saying, well, let me go to school for that. How many of you went to college for one thing and realized you don't have the stomach for it, or it's just too boring? You see what I'm saying? That's why you go to college, to find out. So then as you go into that, like I went to school for music education. So even though I like to sing, that's a gift, all right? But I also could have used it and could have used it in teaching. And I did. I wanted to teach. I wanted to teach the little babies that they come to music and teach them about music and the sounds and things of that nature. So that could have become a career as well, because I am gifted in that. I like it, but it can also become a talent where I could have made a career out of it. Same way with being a counselor. Same way with anything. All these can kind of, listen, y'all, all these can even cross linear. They can even, you can use it across the board, you see. And some people do that. Some people do that. You know, they may counsel in the school system, but then they may be counseling people around their family and friends with no money. Then they may say, you might find yourself being a counselor in a church, helping those who have marital problems and things. And usually, I'm going to say this. Sometimes I've learned too, when people come to you the most about, or you suffer the most in that area, or experience hard time or traumatic, usually sometimes that's the area that God will use, okay, to help others. And that's, again, can be developed again into a spiritual gift or even a talent. You know, like if you're being in a domestic situation, you can actually become a counselor in helping heal someone, or become a healer in domestic violence to heal that trauma. You're a good listener. You're a communicator. You can hear between without what they saying. They saying it, but they ain't really saying. So you can read between that and help them formulate what they really are trying to say, and so that they can heal in that area. So I've been through some traumatic things and some things I've experienced that it's just like God. It's like God lead people to me that had those traumatic experiences, and they still healing where I have already healed. As God says, as you heal yourself, then you heal others, right? And so sometimes God will even send those, again, that could be that gift that you just utilize just because, you know, and you don't mind God using you in forums like, conferences, churches, and even in business. I found out, y'all, that even though I did meditation as a child, but I found out that, oh, wow, I'm really good at that, and I come to study it, practice it. Okay. Just like anything else, you would study and practice. Okay. And I do it basically, y'all, for free because it's much needed. Sometimes things are just needed, and you'll just do it because you like it and you developed it and you find out. I really believe that is pretty much a spiritual gift that can enter into a career, because people do make careers out of it. They get paid. Businesses ask you to come and meditate with their workers, and we'll pay you. Get them off the edge, get them relaxed so they can do their job and be clear and not make no mistakes, and so you can do that as well. So don't look at, if you find yourself with multi gifts and multi spiritual gifts and talents, utilize them all. Develop them all, use them, because when the time is, what they say, your gift makes room for you. So there'll be times when you might need to use that particular talent or that gift or that spiritual gift, that spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying? But with that spiritual thing, it's a burning, it's a desire. It's like I know God called me to this, because I know God called. I heard the voice that says, be a pastor, or develop that pastoral, or be that speaker in the church, or be that missionary. And you find yourself running into people. Like when I found out that I was going to start doing meditation, I literally picked somebody up from the airport to take them home. And he's a guru. He's my guru now in meditation. When I said I was going to start a meditation, start doing meditations, but I still was kind of like, still need a little bit of, what have you. And God allowed me to put somebody in my car to take home from the airport, because I do Lyft, I do Uber. And we just started talking, and it just came up about, he said, is this all you do? And I said, well, I'm thinking about doing meditation, learning meditation. I do meditation, but I want to learn to do it as a collective. Oh, that's what I do. He goes to Asia and all these, places, China, and that's what he do. And so he made it his passion. He calls it his spiritual gifts, and he makes it his passion to go around. He's like a life coach as well within that. So he gets paid for that, to be a life coach. Okay. And so he found that that's what he does. So I ran into somebody who knows and teaches and does meditation. I wanted to do Reiki. Met a girl who is a Reiki, and I think I said that right, Bishop. And guess what? She says she'll train me and give me some of her clients. Okay, just had not done it because other things has taken priority at this point, but it's still there. The passion is still there to learn it. So, but didn't know that I was already kind of doing Reiki when I was laying hands. When we stretch out our hand, that's energy, that's Reiki. So when you touch somebody, and you don't even have to touch them, but if you even walk by them and they feel this warmth and feel good, you don't heal their emotion. You may heal their mental. So again,
Sounds
those
like
are spiritual gifts that can, a gift, talent, but you can have many, but one's going to stand stronger. Your spiritual gift stronger, talent going to be stronger because that gift is going to show up in
so. A
both
couple
ranks.
things. Um,
So
First of all, when you said that, it remind me of Peter. 'Cause I like to connect things back to the
me
Bible.
too.
You talked about the Reiki or Reiki,
Mm-hmm.
and walking by, and you don't even have to touch. The
Touch.
Bible talks about Peter's shadow.
Yes.
Basically, what that means is he walked by and someone was healed.
Yes.
Without him touching them. And then also, you said a couple things that I wanted you to kind of expand on.
Okay.
Um, you were talking about yourself and how you had a desire. Well, you thought it came to you, it came up to you. So I would say God
Yeah,
before it came up,
definitely.
spirit or whatever, to do meditation. And then somebody gets in your car. That's what they do. And then you mentioned something else, and all of a sudden this person comes along that's what they do. So would you say, that being said, would you say that when it's, because we talked earlier about being ordained,
Yes.
you're on another, before your existence here, before I formed you,
Yes, I was going to go there. Yeah.
I knew you and I ordained you. So would you say that the things that are ordained of God, God will, how should I say, the things that are ordained of God, God will begin to order and
Yes.
straight and bring people into your life and
Into your existence. Yes.
signs and all that kind of stuff to point you in that direction to prepare you for it. Would you say that that's what God does?
And
When
that's what he does.
ordained,
Exactly.
just brings it together like that, like what happened to you?
Yeah. And it does because, okay, a talent is like you see something and I want to develop that. I want to do what they're doing. A spiritual gift, like I said, that ordained thing, it's a burning desire, and you find yourself doing that, and you want to, you may have to still be developed in those kind of things. Now, certain things, like even in prophecy, there is a right and a wrong and a time, okay, and a not a time. So you got to know and learn and discern on those levels as well. So you do get someone who's trained and has been utilizing that gift, their ordained gift. And again, God, he leads and he guides us to these ones. When the student is ready, the teacher show up, right? And
Right.
so if that pull will, gosh, if that spirit connects with someone and you feel good with that person to teach and train you, you're going to connect and you're going to learn. And so yeah, I really believe I was ordained, anointed as a prophet. My strongest gift is prophetic in if we want to talk about church. And yeah, I can preach and I can teach, I can do all that. I even heal, I did all that. Signs and wonders came. All that comes and goes. But the prophetic stays. It's like the foundation, my foundation to build up on. If I see that seer, oh, that person discerning that they're sick. and I would lay hands or pray for them. Okay.
Right.
So I would even use that gift. That's like the foundation, that seeing, that discerning, which is the discernment gift, to be able to prophetically speak. Even when I dream a lot, God, I've been dreaming a lot
Right.
last couple of months, but since we hit 2026 actually. But so sometimes I can't, a lot of times I can't interpret them a lot of times. So I have to ask somebody who has the interpretation gift, that foundation, and I go to them and talk to them about that gift. I don't know if it's they will, we kind of can feel it as prophetic. And if it is, I will tell and ask, let me tell you about this dream. Okay. If you are, okay, those of you may have the gift of healing, truly healing. You may find yourself wanting to learn herbalist or learn about the body and certain things, the anatomy of the body. In cosmetology, that you do learn about it's like a doctor for real, because we had to learn the anatomy, parts and everything, muscles and everything. I don't know why, but we did. Okay. And you do have to learn about certain medication, because some medications you can't put a relaxer in somebody's hair and they on a certain medication, it would damage them. Okay. So we had to learn all of that too, but that's not something I would want to, go in. And me want to be an herbalist. It's something fun that I want to be able to say for myself. That I can use out for myself and see if it works. And then if it does, and somebody with that same element comes, guess what? I can say, hey, I tried this. Won't you try it? Okay. Boom. They got that knowledge to go get it and do it. But when it's ordained and you're anointed, you're gonna really be picking up on people's sickness. You're gonna really begin, because you got to be able to, see and understand it. And sometimes you don't, like I said, you don't even have to go to school for that, to be able to lay hands and pray for somebody and then they're healed. Because God would tell you what words to say. You know what I'm saying? That's that gift, that ordained gift. And you would know exactly what to say. God will say, go heal that person, go pray for that person. Or people would come and ask. I've had people to walk up to me and say, could you pray for me? I had a couple of them say, you got the gift of healing. And maybe it was flowing at that time that I would pray, but it doesn't mean I walk in the office of a healer. Okay. Because you got a lot of people trying to, you may have the gift, like, the bishop, they orchestrate, and, apostles are sent, but bishops, they orchestrate the organization. They money oriented in some cases, budgeting, and they help churches to build and budget, and making sure the budget is right. And yet they teach that, they train that, and they have the gift of that, the anointing, like Bishop Jamil Broadnax, can't you speak, Bishop? And oh gosh, and he, like, okay, so Bishop, like, okay, what made you want to go into hypnotherapy? You're a bishop, and you got many things that you do. You see that you utilize to make money, like your insurance and other carrier. And then you got that passion where you minister and you preach to the people, and you go and you're sent or ordained in doing that. That's that, right? Well, where did that hypnotherapy part come in? Hypnotherapy.
I think it was a mixture of gifts, and back to actually the question that I was asking you. When something is ordained, when God ordained it,
Mhm.
to fall into place.
Yes, it does.
It happens like it's almost like it's supernatural. Uh,
Exactly.
that's kind of what happened. I've always, of course, I always wanted to help people, and back about 2019, so that's what, 7 years ago.
Hmm.
At the end of 2019, so probably about six years, because it's at the end of 2019. I was late 2019. I was just thinking, I'm like, God, I really want to help people in another way. I know I preach and I counsel people, but I just want to help people in another way. And I don't know, it's like it just came up, like, even though it was looked at in a negative way for
Yeah,
some at one point.
some.
But I was like, hypnotherapy. Let me study this thing, hypnotherapy. And then I was thinking about hypnotherapy, and I never like went on uh, Facebook or whatever it was searching for it, but I was just
Yeah.
thinking about it. And then all of a sudden, it started popping up everywhere. Hypnotherapy, be a hypnotherapist. And I ended up enrolling in one school, and I did a class. I think I did one course, one class, and I quit because it was it was like
Yeah.
almost $20,000.
Yeah. Expensive to do some
I
of
was,
these gifts.
and I was like, I'm not paying $20,000 for this.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I can't remember how this other school just came up, called
I
Transform,
remember.
and it was the one.
Yeah.
So it was like, again, God ordained. How did I do it? I don't know. It just popped up, and I thought about hypnotherapy. Then all of a sudden, stuff started showing up about hypno.
Well, what was your passion? What was the passion that drove that pop up?
Yeah, I said it. I said
Right? It was helping
helping
people.
people.
Yeah. So
I
even if
was
you
trying to
you
think
may
of
not,
a way to help people. I was like, well, how
yeah,
can I help people? And then it just came up.
came up. And so and think about it. We have all these gifts and talents we try and we do, but y'all remember there are seasons in our lives. We go through seasons. So where you may start out with, you may not end up with doing that. You may even retire and find out, oh my God, I can do this, or I want to try, I'm feeling this. Like he said, it just kind of came up. And then as it came up, like with me with the meditation, came up and people started falling into place. And it's just like, it was like, whoa, you feel that pull, that burn, and especially it's always going to be the foundation. Like he said, he liked to help people. Probably a lot of you may not be a hypnotherapist, but you may say, I like helping people. So, I want to feed people. I'll be a missionary. That's a way of helping people. You may have empathy, sympathy for people who are struggling and you want to help them. Again, you can be that missionary. And that could be, again, now let me ask you this, Bishop. Okay. Okay. Well, and if that's the case, if I can teach and train pastors in spirituality awareness, and it's so strong on you.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm reading what Bishop.
You said, let me ask you
Bishop.
this, Bishop, and then I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
I'm sorry. I was reading something, Bishop.
Yeah, I had it on the screen
Yeah.
earlier.
Oh, you did.
Go ahead.
So, but yeah, so that's
Yes,
that
ma'am.
same pull. You have the desire to do something, but you can see the spiritual gifts where it's going to help people more on a spiritual level. Let's put it that way.
Yes,
Because even
exactly.
hypnotherapist is on a spiritual level, y'all.
Exactly. That's how I saw it. What
And
was your
I'm going to
question?
ask Bishop this question that I was getting ready to ask was, now I'm going to tell y'all, he did it for me and it works. It literally works. I don't do chocolate candy bars as much, and life path regression and help with some healing and understanding who I am.
Past life regression.
Like say it again.
Past life regression.
Regression, that part. And he did that, and I'm telling y'all. So we can, again, we talked about comfortability in church on Sunday, and we don't want to step out of our comfort zone. But hey, it's okay. No demon, and God ain't gonna be mad at you. But especially if it's going to help you, especially when it's going to help you. But I want to ask you, so I've seen it where, I'm going to ask you this. Do you care is it a thing where you will make a career, you can make a career out of it, but is it really for the sake of helping people? Yeah, they can bless you, what have you, but if someone really needed and you didn't have to worry about payment, getting paid, how did that correlate with your hypnotherapist? It's like I said, it came up and you want to help people. How does that correlate with let's say financially, with, do I like to get paid for it, make it a career, or is it, or they can just give me a donation or something that I can use on the side to bring in extra income, right? As well. I want to see what's your dynamics on that level.
I'm gonna try to make sure I understood your question
Okay.
because you asked for several different
Yeah,
things.
it's kind of, I'm trying to
Hey,
make
I'm
sense
gonna
of
say it
it.
this way, and I bet I'm pretty sure this is probably gonna answer it. I think, and you tell me if I didn't answer it,
Hmm.
okay? But it is something that I would do without being paid. I do enjoy being paid, but I have done it without being paid.
Right.
It is more about helping people. Being paid for that is a bonus. So that's how I would answer that.
And usually that's that spiritual gift. That's that spiritual gift
Gotcha.
that it comes from God, and God will do the rewarding, whether you get blessed or not.
Gotcha.
You see, now I want to get paid for my talents, because if I know how to, do computer programming and all that, and I went to school for that, and I paid all that money, I want my money back. And I make a career out of it, and I still enjoy it because it keeps me there and keeps me focused to do it. All right, and so that's that part. But then there's that gift part that you just like to do as a hobby. As a hobby, you just may want to just sit and draw, or just hobbies. Whether it ain't about getting paid, or you just like to do it. And you might be really talented and gifted spiritually, okay, to be a painter. But you don't, I just want this for me, for my relaxation, for my enjoyment. And yet, if people look at it and they see it and they like it, then it's for their enjoyment. And that's us. Now, if they ask me if I can draw them a picture or do something, whatever, then you might want to say, you make it talk, like you said, you might want to say, see if that's something you want to get paid to do, because that is taken away from your time that you love to do something on a personal level. Now you're doing something on a personal level for someone else who wants to enjoy your gift, okay, your personal gift. And you may say, oh yes, I'm gonna share something. And so you would utilize it so you can decide, oh, I just do it for you. Or they may say, no, I want to bless you, but then bless me. Because it would be still an enjoyment thing to do something you enjoy that I do. And that would be my personal time still to do that. This guy was a constructor. I met him on TikTok. He was a constructor, like, again, build houses and this and that, y'all. He found out that he was diagnosed with an uncurable cancer, and so he couldn't do that no more. He couldn't climb ladders. He couldn't do that no more. And what happened was, by mistake, he said, now when he was small, now sometimes y'all know what gifts will come back when you were small, that you used to do when you were small, but you just kind of let it go. And he said he dabbled with, dabbling with drawing and doodling and things like that. And he did that, but he didn't see it as where he's at now. Y'all, this man, he been not trained, not whatever. He just picked up, he said he had the passion to go back and start painting. And boy, can he paint. And he does it on TikTok, just showing people what he do. And he does this. He said, I love to do this for the enjoyment of myself. But I found out that since I cannot work, because, and I'm healed now, but I come to where now this has become like my career, my talent, my gifts. Have now become like something I really enjoy doing, and I can do it, and people pay me to do it. I thought that was beautiful. He does his real good. He's supposed to be drawing me, and
You got to
but
bring it to
he
us.
found out, he went back.
Ask
Sometimes
you
he'll
to
go back. Mm-hmm.
ask you to kind of give us a kind of our closing
Yes,
statement and bring us in. It's almost 9 o'clock, so we're gonna
yes,
go ahead and end this for tonight.
sounds good. I want to say this: you're gonna have like I said, whatever you're gonna have, like I said, gifts that's gonna come up, or things, talents that's gonna come up. Like I said, I was a child, I wanted to sing, be on the stage, and then poof, I ended up being on the stage because of doors open because of Bishop Ronex. And I found myself on a stage. It came from when I was a child. Loved to do plays and write plays, but never did it as a career, never pursued it on that level. But yet it was that there. Then I had the gift, the talent of doing hair. And then I found out I can do nails, and and I can sew and deliver. I got all these talents, and I like to call them gifts that I can do. But I found out that my main talent that I can make money off of is counseling. I like to get paid for that. But my spiritual gift is definitely prophetic, even though I got all the spiritual gifts can come and go. You see. So, someone said, Bishop here, I can't see your name, but he was talking about, he never had a desire. I was in Christianity and to go to seminary school. So he had a desire to go and do that. But sometimes, again, you'll branch off and start doing other things on a different level. Yeah. And you'll find yourself just in it and having a good time. So don't excuse none of your gifts and talents and spirituality gifts, ordained gifts. Don't excuse any of them that you can't utilize them. But it is going to be one main one that you're going to use for your bringing in your money for income, and one for your enjoyment, and one that you would utilize. Hey, I just want to do it because God gave it to me, and whether I get paid or not, whether I even do it or not, I'm that kind of person that just got to, be all over the place for everything and everywhere and be noticed. You know what I'm saying? You just do it when it comes, and it's there. And when it's time for to utilize it, you will utilize that ordained gift. Now, everywhere I go to church. Everywhere I go, I'm not always prophesying, y'all. It don't always come. I'm chilling. Okay. But when it's needed and God need me to utilize me in that, I will it myself over and discern what he needs me to say and do. And I do that. Even when it comes to laying hands and praying for somebody. Okay, y'all? So never excuse any of the stuff that you come to become aware that, I used to like to do that. I used to like to do this. And I don't do that no more. But I do. I went to school for this. And now I'm like, that's good. I want to do something else, change career. And you may find out that it might be one of those talents that you did back in the day, like this man did. And he using it now as his career to make money, to really live, y'all. To make that money. I mean, he's probably on certain things, but to bring in other income. But I'm saying this is something that he was doing as a child. And then he kind of, we do what we do. And believe it or not, construction is like art. Okay. So you may find yourself doing something that's, like I said, they kind of linear, kind of come together. And you'll find out that, hey, I'm an organizer. So you may find yourself organizing somebody's house and becoming having a cleaning business, organizing people's house, and finding yourself doing that as a career and make a business out of it. So please do not excuse any of your gifts and talents that you've come to learn, or come to want to learn, or come to become aware of. And please, develop your spiritual gifts. Don't be afraid of them. Believe it or not, God got somebody God going to send you that's going to help develop that spiritual gifts. And a lot of people say they go to their pastor and say, I think God is calling me to be a pastor. Okay, let's really analyze that. Do you? And you may let's take you through some training. Let's go to school. Let's, because he may take you through some training. He may say, well, maybe go to, I want to be a spiritual counselor, because I'm a seer. So when people are talking to me about things, I do that. I tap into that. Again, you see how that goes together. But so this part, you may find yourself that you want to, you're called and you feel that pull, then go for it. go for it. And you can feel like, I don't even care if I get paid. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. Pastors really, we don't get paid. I mean, some make a career out of it. I've seen some retire from it and make a career out of it. But they ain't get rich. Like, well, you can. Because your spiritual gifts can bring wealth. And usually wealth doesn't always mean money, y'all. It's a fulfillment. It's a fulfillment. And I'm saying I can say that across the board, even just doing something for yourself. So don't be afraid to use those gifts and play with them as they come up and as they become conscious aware of them. And don't be afraid to utilize that very ordained gift that God gave you to help in making the kingdom. I said we're going to say making people greater and better. Okay, I like to say. And you'll find that you can be fulfilled and become whole in your talents, in your gifts, and in your spiritual gifts. I like to call my gifts my spiritual thing I do for myself. And I necessarily don't want to do. I have people, they just don't want to do it. They just want to do it for themselves, and because they could do it better for themselves. I don't think I could do it that good if I do it. And it may not look like, because now I feel like I'm being made to do something for somebody, and that it may not go so good than me just normally just doing it for myself, and it becomes a beautiful picture for myself. Okay, so I hope this helps for you to kind of get a little awareness about where you are. For those who are, especially those, I really want to think about those teenagers and those who are in school, who's looking to go to college or trying to figure out what they're going to do when they get out of high school. And for those who are coming into the spirituality ministry, organization, and you trying to figure out where you belong and what is your purpose and goals. Well, guess what? You're going to find yourself doing your pastor. It's almost like in school, you're going through these different classes to find out what you're good at and what you like to do. And then, there it is. You're now going to fully be in training in that area. And that's what your pastor will do, or your leader would do. Okay. Or even if you're on a job and you're a pastor, you may start off as a nurse, but you really want to be the head nurse. And you got a real neck to lead and guide. And your facilitator, director may see that and start to say, you know what, I think we might want to send you to school for that and promote you in that, because you have that's a real good talent you got there. Very good talent. And that talent that we can develop, get paid some money, right? So that's why we do what we do. So y'all just embrace every talent, embrace every gift, and embrace every spiritual gift, and utilize it as you see fit. And don't let nobody tell you what you should do and what they think you. If I was you, people either talk you out of it or try to talk you into something that you're either not ready for, or they'll talk you out of something that you're ready for. Okay? But just be relaxed and just be aware and more conscious of where you are. And guess what? It'll come together, and God will lead in all areas. God will lead. And he'll put you up in that. He'll open those doors. Those gifts will make room. And you find yourself doing that talent, that career, doing that gift for myself, and doing that spiritual gift to help the massive, the collective. Okay? So I hope that helps. So thank you for listening and coming on and coming in. If you have any other questions, you can always contact me, inbox me on Facebook. I do have I do meditation on TikTok and on YouTube, and trying to get where I can do it all spontaneous at one time, or even on Facebook. But I do do it on TikTok and YouTube, so you can always go to Spiritual Walkers and do that. And even I teach a little bit about meditation. So if you want to get into that, you can. And I love to do it. And I do it basically, y'all, for free. If you give a donation, fine. But usually I use that for ministry, because I always look at that too as a ministry. Your talents and gifts and all that can be it can be ministry. It don't mean you have to be in the pulpit. Your ministry can be really cleaning someone's house and making them feel good. Okay, y'all? So just embrace it.
Look,
Embrace it.
I got to cut
I
in on
love
you.
you.
You done went on to another 20 minutes almost.
Yeah, I know, but
Give
I
your
just really
closing
want
statement.
people to really understand and get it. Because, you know,
We
people like,
got
well, I
that.
got this and I can do this. And well, how do I form? Yeah, just embrace
Yes,
them all.
you've done an awesome job.
Yeah.
By the way, please be confident in that. I promise you, they got it. I certainly,
Yeah.
I got it, and then I know they got it because I can tell by some of the comments. So excellent job tonight. Um, thank thank you, Apostle. Um, I know I just said it earlier, but I'm still gonna like closing statement, just like whatever.
Yeah.
You
That's
summed
good.
up in couple sentences what you want them to go away with tonight.
I really want you just to embrace everything that God has put in you and He ordained you before the time to do it in that season. Okay. Just do those gifts where you're led to do it in that season because God ordained it. All right. And don't be afraid of it. That's all I want to say. Don't let anyone talk you out of it or talk you into it before time. All right. Let God lead you. You won't make a mistake.
So you said don't let them talk. Don't even let them talk you into it before time.
Before time. Exactly. People do that. Yeah, people will do that. They get you so strung up. You be like, yeah, okay. And you making.
And then when you out there looking like a fool, they gone.
That's right.
They over there.
About you a prophet.
They're
You a prophet.
on the phone talking about you like, Lord,
Yeah.
did you see Jamel? Lord, he made a mess. Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
And you was the one that pumped me up, told me.
Yeah. And we could pump ourselves up. And sometimes the pastor or somebody, that leader, will have to say, hold up, you know, and don't be mad when they do that either. Don't get to where they think that they're saying that you're not called to do that or purpose for that. It's just back up and let's take the course and go with it.
That and I'm here. I said we're closing, and we are. It is 9:00, but you just made me think when you said that about David. You know, like
yes,
David was anointed to be king, but right after he was anointed to be king, he went back to his father's sheep, back to the field with his anointed self. And
yes, he did. Yes, he did.
You know,
he did.
so just because you're anointed doesn't mean it's your time.
That's right. Because every time there's a season, right? It's a season.
Because we think as soon as we hear the voice of God, whoo, I gotta go start. I gotta go start a fellowship or he called me to preach. Let me go get a Bible and go on the street corner. You can't half read. Let me go on the street corner and preach to everybody. Anyway.
You're funny. But y'all, yeah, that's true. Just take your time. But yet don't slumber either. You know, don't slumber.
Time, exactly.
All right. Okay, well, I'm done. I hope everybody gathered some thoughts and got some awareness ideas about themselves and learn about themselves. So the next time we'll be here at the Spiritual School of Learning. And it is spiritual. Okay. And we do bring biblical in there because it is spiritual. Okay. And maybe not, but it is all spiritual. So we come here every Wednesday at 7:30. And so we love to meet you here, and we go on we cross the board. We're on YouTube. We you know, you get a link, you may come in on this link live here, or you see it on Facebook. And what was that? Facebook and YouTube for this right now. And so always meet us here Wednesday at 7:30. And on Sundays, we're going to be starting to meet. We want to talk about that part, Bishop, about how we'll be meeting on the 1st of March. We're going to start service at 2:30. Okay, so come and be ready. And we meet at 1519, okay, Bartow Place in Greensboro, North Carolina. So meet us there on the first Sunday in March at 2:30. And right now we'll be meeting at this month out. I think this is probably is this the last Sunday? We'll be meeting at 12 o'clock. I'll be 12:30. Okay. And you just come on in at 1519 Bartow Place in Greensboro, North Carolina, and enjoy the service right at 12:30. Okay, and those of you can come on March, start coming on the first Sunday on March at 2:30. Come on, be glad to have you. Be glad to have you. So thank you again for tuning in, the Spiritual School of Learning. Where you go? Where you go, y'all?